Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name's Lumen and today we're back in Diablo Immortal to have a look at a new class, the Blood Knight. Accursed heroes who devour their enemy's life, entrap them with summoned shadows, and cut down any opposition with knightly polearms. The Blood Knight is a mid-range class with hybrid attack options that are either melee or ranged depending on your proximity to the target. This vanquisher of vampires feeds on enemies' life, entraps them in deadly shadows summoned with cursed strength, and relies on their trusty polearm to maintain distance from danger. And if all else fails, they may just succumb to the unholy abomination within themselves that's vying for control of their humanity. Yes. It's pretty intense. That's really intense, actually. And they made a fantastic cinematic, as you may have just seen on your screens. They made the classes look pretty damn awesome. I love it. I love everything about the Blood Knight. Now, before I jump in and gush over how cool the models look, I want to just tell you how this works. So you can either jump into this, by the way, free-to-play game and just make a brand new Blood Knight. Alright? Or you can actually, and I'm not sure if this is a brand new option, but you can actually just class change. They say here class change is available at level 35. So if you have like a level 50 barbarian or something like that, you can just class change to the Blood Knight, keep your level, keep your items, keep everything, test it out, and if you don't like it, you just switch back. That's fantastic. That's awesome. I feel like, in at least some aspects, this game really respects your time. That's one of those things that, you know, it just makes it so much easier. Alright? On top of that, you can see over here that there's a limited time event run in for the Blood Knight. It's called the Crimson Plane. So if you want to jump in and do that, there's a reason to jump in on your other characters, even if you don't want to play the Blood Knight. Right. So with that out of the way, timestamps. Use them. Find what you're looking for, leave satisfied. We're going to do it as follows. We're going to have a look at the mail. We will check the presets out, see what's available there. We'll have a look at the armor previews, then we'll look at the customization options. They're going to be pretty quick. We're not going to spend too much time on it. This game, it has a pretty bloated set of options which don't really offer all that much in terms of customization. You'll see what I mean when we get there. It's still good. Fantastic models. It's just that the options are all a little... And then we'll do the female after that in the same way that we did the male, but there will be timestamps, so use them. With that out of the way, let's jump in. Male first. I'm going to first show you the preview, like the little cinematic that plays here, and then we'll jump in and we'll do the same for the female. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty sick. I like it. Now, the presets. These are probably your best starting point. So you pick one of these, you find one that you like, that works for you, and you just roll with it. You will notice that there are some restrictions, and it's the same on the other classes. It's the same thing. They do it on all of them. The restrictions are obviously because of the Blood Knight itself. It has sort of a set number of skin tones it can use. The hair is always going to have this whitish, grayish color to it. You'll see you can control it a little bit, but not that much. However, I think that if you want to jump in here and you want to make the character your own, you should find more than enough available. That's it for the presets. Decent options. I think they look kind of cool. I specifically and personally like this one. I think it looks kind of sick. You know what? I think the basic one's kind of great as well. The gear previews. These are awesome, by the way. I just want to say, I don't know if these are like shop bought or if they're in-game, but they are great. Like, the armor models here are just like, wow. They wow. That's what they are. They wow. This last one, specifically. Check this one out. That better be end-game armor. My god. That is just insane. Alright? That's insane. So, let's jump onto this one. Let's customize. Let's see the options. Right, so skin tones, as I mentioned, they are pretty limited. You don't have a huge selection. Again, it's understandable. You know, you are a Blood Knight. There is all sorts of nonsense going on inside your body and your veins that makes you look a certain way. Now, we'll just take whichever one. Then we'll jump onto the hair options. I want to say same thing for the hair. Yeah, dude, it's the excuse that they use, okay? Same thing for the hair. right? So your hair is going to be a certain color, somewhat a certain color, and you're going to have to work with that. You'll see. You don't have like full control over it, but you have some control. The hairstyles are sick. Like, they look great. It's really well done. And I mean, like, this is nothing new. If you've checked out my Diablo Immortal video, you will know that the game has just like some of the best looking models out there. Like, it's really good. And this is a mobile game, by the way. It's like, you can play this on your damn phone. It's crazy to me how good this looks. And it does look this good on the phone, by the way. It really does, especially if you have a newer phone. So the hairstyles are awesome. I like this one quite a lot, but the standard default one is quite nice. You can sort of pick and choose here, and then the options are on the right-hand side over here. You can pick the colors. Now, the colors, you will notice as I go through them, they all have this gray, right? You can control that a little bit, and you can see you can get rid of it a little bit, especially by using a custom color. And some of the colors are brighter, while others less so. I find it a little weird how they did this. I'm not sure if it's permanent like this, or if they're gonna like tweak it or whatever in patches, or I don't know. It's sort of unimportant, I suppose. But like as an example, the reds, you can't get it all that red. Like, you can't make like blood red hair. However, when you go down to like some of the other colors, you feel like the saturation's a little higher. Like the pinks and the purples, a little bit higher, which is weird, by the way, because again, like if they like that, then you expect the red to be kind of, and the greens are kind of nice as well. The yellow's all right. Again, the red is sort of a little lackluster. However, if I pick one of these, let's say this one, then I can actually scroll down and I can change some stuff. This is where the non-options start sort of kicking in a little bit. It's like there are a lot of them, but they don't do all that much, right? So basically, you got the brightness, right? If you take the brightness all the way down, you can see you take away a lot of the gray, right? But even with it that way, you still don't really get like a full bright red. Now, you've got the same ones here. You can have a look over there. That's about the best you can do for like the brightest color, right? It's sort of like a maroon. However, again, you can do the length of this one. Is basically, so it's kind of hard to, it's not hard to explain, but like this one brings the color, the gray, from the tips up, and this one brings it from the roots out, right? So if you pull them both, then you'll see the color goes away, you drain the color, and you've got that gray. It's just something that you're working with when you're making this here class. I feel like the colors that they give you here are quite nice. They give you a decent selection. This is the default one. It's sort of the one that they expect the character looks like. And it's cool. It's cool. But, as I mentioned, there are some nice colors here, and I mean, like, for real. If you go for the blues, the purples, even the yellows, like, it's kind of nice. It's kind of bright. And it looks nice. It looks like if I put that on there, it doesn't really look super out of place or whatever. It's like this character is like heckin' anime already, so like having that color on there, yeah, why not? Why not? It's like one of the few times where I really feel like it doesn't look that out of place. Alright? So, again, decent options. Decent options. I personally like the fact that, and I know I'm waffling a bit, but I like that you can make it full black as well. For me, that's kind of cool. Okay? Sorry. I tend to waffle. Let's take one of these. Let's just take the basic one and then let's move on. Facial hair. This is not tied to your hair color. You actually get to select it separately, which is great. It's great. I do feel like, and I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I feel like the hairstyles that they added for the facial hair here, they are not really suited to this. I don't know what would be suited. Like, what does like an ancient vampire hunter have as a facial hairstyle? I don't know. Something slicker. I couldn't say. But regardless, I kind of like this one. When you look at the options here, you'll notice you can once again do custom colors. Same thing. Then you can do the transparency intensity and the lightness intensity. And you can just fiddle around and find what you're looking for. It's sort of basically if you take the lightness down and then you pick your, I'm not sure which one it is that you pick. Yeah, is it the lightness? Then you pick your custom color. Let's have a look how it works quickly. Let's explore this together. Trying to find out how do I actually get the color. Wait, here we go. Sorry. There. Pink. All right. There it is. Okay. So basically, you need the transparency at the lowest and the lightness at the highest, and then you've got the brightest color. But like personally, I would just try and match the hair with the with the hair. So that's it for the hair. We're going to move on. Face. So these are the options where I feel like, and I'm just going to be honest, don't bother, okay? Like, I feel you should, with the face stuff, because there's a huge amount, right? And I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to go through them quite quickly here. And they do stuff, right? But I feel like the way that they modify the look of the character is, while it is impactful, it's not impactful enough in the right kinds of ways to make it worth bothering with. I feel like you can come in here and you can move like 10% here, 10% there to tweak a face that they give you and make it your own, yes. But I feel like if you're going like the whole hog and you're modifying all of these, you're going to end up with a character that just looks straight worse. It's kind of like, it's a weird situation, right? And like, even if I pull them all to one side, it's like it'll just make the face a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. It doesn't really deform it in any way. So they played it very safe with these options, and it was the same on the original classes. I again feel like there is some stuff that you can mess around with. Like personally, I feel like the space in here on the cheeks, you can have a slightly thinner face, like it's like a slightly gaunter look. And then on the jaw, I do feel like it's definitely worth your time to fiddle around to get like the dimensions that you want on the jaw. Once again, it's sort of like a personal preference that you can work with. There's two sets of jaw options, and these are definitely worth having a look at, right? But not all of them, you know, just the ones that you want. Like for instance, if you want a big like David Coulthard, Brad Pitt type jaw, boom, 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 you're done. Fantastic. It looks great. Same for the chin. You know, you can get the little clefty butt chin there if you like it, or you can get a slightly pointier chin. It's all good. It's all good. You chisel you chisel it up the way you want it. It's fine. It's fine. Like I personally think that there's more than enough with some of these that would make you happy. However, again, like mostly these upper face ones, they seem super pointless to me. That said, some things that aren't pointless. The brows, definitely good for setting a tone and a mood on your character, right? Like you definitely, you want to look at these. Like that's a vibe right there. You know, you're not gonna mess with this guy. And then the depth, obviously, is kind of important too. Don't have too much of a Neanderthal brow. This is a civilized gentleman. You can add a little concern, just a little bit of humanity. You know, you take it from there to there, and you worlds apart in demeanor, right? Worlds apart. It's kind of nice. Spacing, yeah. Middle brow, like there's too many of these. Let's just be real, okay? It's not gonna pique your curiosity. It's crazy. Okay, outer brow. Okay. It's like it's just enough to get the people's eyebrow going, I think. Then we're at the bottom. So again, a whole lot of options that I feel, while they change things, they don't change all that much. The eyes, well, these are kind of important, I want to say, because of the next options available, because you actually get to change these. So the size of the eyes, very important. I recommend going maximum just because anime. And if you're going to mess with something, mess with the eyes, right? But like I'm saying, for real, the eye options are kind of fantastic. They look great. So if you do maximize the eye size, at least you get to see them. Nose, here we go. Some more non-options. I mean, these are actually less non, but they're still pretty like, right? And listen, I want to just say while I'm sliding through these options here, please don't misunderstand me. I love how much you can modify here, but like you are actually just modifying like small little bits and pieces on your character's face that at the end of the day don't change all that much. All I'm saying is they could have simplified this a bit. And I'll tell you something about this whole setup that they have here, and this is something that maybe the people amongst you that haven't played a lot of these mobile games might not know. But this setup here that we're looking at right now, it's a very common setup in mobile games. It's like all the big mobile MMOs have this setup. It's a little bit different here and there, but it's basically the same. You will notice the sliders on the right with these options here, the same setup on the left here. It's sort of a copy-pasted thing. And it's just sort of tailored to the game that they're using, right? Again, not complaining. I think it's fantastic that they give you so many options. I'm just pointing out that it should probably have been simplified a little bit. And if I wanna compare it to, like, as an example, I can compare it to Diablo 4 right now. I will just say that Diablo 4 nails it in terms of the complexity of the system versus how much you get out of it, you know? Hey, we're just having a discussion here, guys. Chill. Calm down, okay? So there are some decent options here, but they're not that decent. The lips, yeah, I think fullness does nothing. Literally does like... Oh, okay, well, okay, there's a little lip action right there. Okay, let's go full lips. It's whatever. I'm kind of messing the face up a little bit here, bit by bit. And then we move on to our final ones. These are the most interesting ones. And what I'm going to do before I start here is I'm actually just going to select nothing on all of them so that you can see the face without anything on. And then we can sort of judge it. Now you'll notice that you have these marks on your face by default. That can't go away. That's stuck there, right? But you get some eye makeup that can enhance it a little bit, make it look a little better and or worse. And there are some decent options here. I think they're great. Like, you're going to find something you like. And again, this is sort of a combination that you can do. You'll see as I finish up here, there is more that you can work with. I left it on the basic color. Let's pick a big one like this. And then I'll fiddle with the colors and show you what you can do. You can obviously do a custom color. Is the opacity maxed? Let's max the opacity. Let's pick a custom color. Hup, hup. Kind of cool. I feel like if you come in there with like blue paint on your face, however, the other Blood Knights won't take you seriously. So take this seriously. Put some black paint on your face. Go out there looking fierce, and you know, you're good to go. Okay, that's my little tip. It might not be a tip-top pro tip, but it's good enough. Okay, let's take this off now, and I'll show you the next stuff. This is full-on markings. These are awesome. I just want to say, like, I love this. And I really like the fact that they have different textures here. It's not all just like straight paint. They have stuff that looks like proper tattoo work. They have stuff that looks like sort of scuffed markings. You'll see as we go through, it's actually quite varied. And then they have stuff that looks like scars on your face that look a certain way. Let me take the hair off quickly so you can see this one. There you go. There it is. It's really cool. Once again, the texture work on the model and stuff like that, it all comes together to make this look pretty fantastic. Right? Pretty fantastic. Now, this stuff you miss out on if you just pick a preset. It's very important to note that there are some really cool options here that you would just not have if you picked a preset. You know? So, yeah. Like, go for it, man. Customize your character. Check that out. Once again, you obviously have the option of changing the color of these. It's a little, like, to me, yes, changing the color makes sense, but, like, oftentimes the defaults actually give you the best possible look. I don't know. It's like, let's take this one, which is a pretty complex one. We change the color on it. You'll see that, like, it sort of clashes a little bit on some of them, especially if you pick, and I can take this up a little bit, especially if you pick, like, the brighter colors. It sort of clashes a little bit. But, I mean, yeah, kind of nice. Like, without a doubt, there's some really cool stuff you can do here. It's, again, the kind of system where you're really going to want to jump in here, mess around with it, find what you like. Again, as I mentioned, like, some of them react differently to the colors. Positively and negatively. It's sick. It's really cool. Got nice options here. Now let's take this off quickly. The garish details. Let's look at the eyebrows. Were we without eyebrows this whole time? I thought something looked a little weird. All right. Oh, right. I just turned it off right now. Right. Okay. Yeah, my bad. So eyebrows, you can obviously change the color on the eyebrows to match the hair if you'd like to. And once again, as with the rest of the face and the rest of the options here, you do get to change to a custom color. Not going to show you the custom colors there. You can sort of guess what it would look like. But yeah, you can do that. You can change the opacity. Lots of control, basically, over what you're doing here. And then our final option, the best option, I think, and I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. Leave a comment and just say, Lerm, you are incorrect. But I think that these are the same pupil options as the other characters. I think that the eyes themselves just look a little different. I'm not sure if this is maybe unique. But basically, you know, there are some options here. I'm just saying they look familiar. And some of them look more Blood Knighty, others less Blood Knighty. You can change the size, which is kind of nice. And then you can change the highlight color, which is the as you can see, like the brightness of it. Plus you can change the custom colors on both of them. So if you pick the, let's say, blue over here. Let's take like a blue, boom. And then you take the highlight on a blue as well. Then you will see a nice blue color in the eye. But you'd want to pull the highlights brightness up a little bit, I think. It's looking more of like, this is more of like a lavender. Hold on. There you go. All right. And then you can sort of mix and match a little bit here. It's cool. Much like on the others, these are fantastic options for the eyes. The quality is just insane. I know that on some of the models, and I don't know what sort of decides the way this works, but on some of the models you can zoom in much further. I think on the females, I don't know why on the females you can zoom in further, but I recommend these colors that they give you because they look fantastic. And again, like if you pull the luminosity up a little bit, I personally think it looks better with the size big as well. It's nice, you know. I don't know which one looks more like Blood Knighty, but yeah, I'm sure you guys can figure something cool out here, alright? I believe in you guys. And that brings us to the end of the male customization. If you revert it, you will see just how much I've messed this character up. This looks so much better. Oh my god. There's unfortunately no randomize in this, and I'm sorry if I missed some like small options here and there. It's just there's a lot of stuff cluttered in here, and it's sort of, you know, all over the place. If you click next here, they will ask you to name your character. You can randomize the name. And you can also watch the little cutscene for the character again. And that's it. We're going to jump onto the females now. You will notice that they have different intros. It's kind of cool. The female presets, very similar to the male ones, I will say, in terms of like the variety that you get with them. Kind of nice. Like, I'm a big fan. Again, like I'm really happy with these. Like, I was happy with the male ones, but I'm even happier with these. They look fantastic. And personally, I feel like the female ones and the female face itself has more going for it in terms of customization. Like, you can do a whole lot more with it. You can do some nice stuff with the male one too, but like, the female one's kind of, you know, wow. It's kind of wow. Gear preview. These look amazing. These really look amazing. Like they really look amazing. It's like a plate variant of the Demon Hunter, basically. It's got that edgy feel to it. You know? It's kind of great. Like, I'm a real big fan of the armor. Especially this set right here. Like, big fan. Right, so let's customize. As with the male, you are kind of limited with the skin tones that you can pick. For those wondering, it's a class limitation. You sort of, you know, you're playing a role here. You are playing as a Blood Knight. So the limitation is there for a reason. I guess it's a lore reason. You can pick what you want. I'm going to go for the pale look. I think it's cool. It's kind of fun. Go for a colder look. And then hairstyles. There are some really cool hairstyles here on the Blood Knight class. Nice choices. It's a little obscured by the collar, but like that collar is damn cool, so we don't care that it's obscured. This is a cool style. You can't see it here, but it's got a ponytail going around the back, and it's hanging on the shoulder. Alright? Just pointing that out. Longer locks. Same thing with the ponytail over there. Side part. I was going to say sort of like a Viking style, but it's not really exactly that. And then you got the luscious locks here. I like these as well. We're going to go for the default one once again. I think this sort of keeps it out of the face a little bit so we can see what's going on. Color customization, very cool. Nice system. Decent. They are sort of funneling you once again into the Blood Knight style. I'll show you what I mean by that. Basically, you have... Let's pick a color quickly. I'm going to pick a custom color for you. You have decent choices with colors, right? You have basically full RGB control, but there's a little bit of a limitation where some of the colors, as an example, the red, it can't go quite as bright. So like if I go... That's basically full brightness for red right there. Like that's basically it. You can go a little darker if you take all of this off. Or which is it? I'm not sure which it is. I think it might be the opacity. But like the way that these sliders work is that when you pick a custom color, let's take the more noticeable blue, right? Then what you can do is you can pull the length up. What this does is it brings the gray, this is that Blood Knight gray, it brings it up from the roots. and this takes it down. And then this does the same, but it brings it in from the tips, as you can see. So if you pull them both in, then you've got that Blood Knight grey in there mixed with the color, and it's sort of like an in-between, you know? Then you can mess around with these. You can take the brightness down. You can get a sort of a little bit of a midnight look going on there. You can sort of, you know, you can tailor it to your own desires. And there's a lot of options, but they don't do that much. It's actually sort of the theme that I see here, is that there honestly could be a simplification here. I like the default colors that they give you. I think that they give you a decent selection here. But again, you can mess around and sort of do what you want with the custom colors there. Right. No facial hair for the ladies. That's a loss for all of us. But we will endure. We will persevere. As I was saying, the females can zoom in way further. I don't know why. I love it, by the way, because the models are just awesome. It's nice to see them up close. Here's where the bloat comes in a little bit. So, like, basically there are tons of options here. And they are impactful, but they are impactful to a point where you can sort of mess with them and you can change them a bunch. But they don't, like, deform the character horribly. It's not like a Street Fighter character. You know, Street Fighter 6, for instance, gave you, like, awesome options. It sort of let you really, really, like, mess with the character's facial structure and body and everything. Not really, no. That's because they want the bones of the character to look like the Blood Knight. They want it to look like a normal character so they could put armor on it and stuff. It's normal, okay? But what's not normal is the amount of options here. It's like they have so many different options. And I mentioned on the male side, and I'll mention it again because this is kind of important, is that there are some options. There are a few here that I would pick and choose to, like, you know, to focus on, to modify, to pay attention to. That's the jaw at the back there, because they make a difference, you know? It's like there are a few things that you can come in here, you'll pick a preset, right? Then you'll come in here and you will, and you have to pick the presets because they, once again, they offer you sort of a template to work from. And that's what I mentioned at the start of the mail as well, is they offer you a template. But you come in here and you sort of just tweak bits and pieces to make the character look more like what you want it to look like. You make the face look a little longer. You make the angles a little more angular. You sharpen it out a little too much so that your chin looks like an elbow. No, you don't do that. You take it back. You take it back a little bit. Step back, guys. Leave the sliders. Okay? Basically, what I'm saying is that I don't think that these are the kind of options that you'll sort of, you know, go hard on. You'll just sort of tweak a little bit and make the character sort of look more like your own, you know? I always say that the brow options are very important because they add emotion to the face, you know? Good options to look at if you want to do that. But as you can see here, even moving them around a bunch, there's not that much that changes. Eye options, you can do the depth, size. Yeah, I'm making the size big again just because it's nice for the next section so we can see, like, nice big pupils. I don't know, I've got an obsession with that. The eyes look great in this game. Nose. Depth. The angle. Nice, you can sort of nod with your nose at people. Why can't we have that as a control feature for the human body? Don't have to nod your whole head because that's tiresome nonsense. Just nod your nose at someone, you know? Yeah, oh my god. I mean, I don't want to go on a tangent here, but you could use the nose nod to nod at a decent smell. How would that be? Oof. Great idea. Great idea. Anyway, don't mess with these too much because you can mess your character up entirely, and no one wants that, right? You don't want to join someone's party at max level and knock them out of their chair with your hideous face. Please. Please. Okay, I don't think it's actually possible, but, you know, please, just look out for your fellow gamer, guys. So as I mentioned, you mess around a little bit here. You sort of tweak it into what you want it to be. I feel like the female lips, the fullness and everything, it sort of affects it a little bit more. You can make nicer, bigger lips here than on the male. And then you move on to the markings. The markings, what we'll do here first is I'll just turn these off. I'll turn the markings off, good. And they're all off, good. Okay. These are straight eye makeup. I'm going to turn the opacity down here up quickly so you can see them in full brightness. Or, I mean, actually it's a bit much when you have it full. I'm going to backstep and just put it on 65. So These are just to like enhance things further, to make you look even more Blood Knighty. These are very much themed towards the Blood Knight and the class itself, and I don't know if there's lore reasons behind a lot of these or any of these really, but they do seem to fit the role quite nicely. You can change the color on them, full RGB once again. You have the opacity slider as well, which is, it's pretty impactful. You can change the colors to the default ones that they give you here. Although personally, I once again feel like if you want to be a Blood Knight, you know, don't have like bright pink on your face. Don't put like a blue barbarian style war paint on. Just, you know, yeah, that's better. Okay. You can change the opacity. I have it super light, super dark. It's cool. Fantastic options once again. Really nice. Markings. These are a little bit more intense. You will notice that they are slightly larger. They cover most of the face in many situations. Some of them you will see on the other classes. Some of them are unique. All of them pretty cool. Pretty cool. These like veiny ones, I think these might be much better suited to the Blood Knight, especially if you make them sort of like a matching color or something like that. And for real, you can make a pretty sick looking character. And I mean that in both ways. You know, it can be pretty sickly looking with all these veins popping out everywhere, or it can be pretty damn sick. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me show you the different colors. I'll just pick this one. You can change between their presets over here. And as with before, you can change the opacity. That will make it a lot darker and or lighter. And then you can pick any of these colors. Full RGB. There you go. Then, eyebrows. The female eyebrows are slightly skinnier. They are more kempt. Better plucked. They look alright. Nothing special, nothing crazy. I'm surprised there are no notched brows or anything like that. You can change the color here to match your hair. Much like with the hair, you can do a custom color as well. But I would say try keep them the same. I don't know. I don't want to tell you what to do or anything. Okay, but whatever. Eye options. I love these. I was a big fan of them the first time I had a look at this character creation system. I still am a big fan of them. They give you a few nice options here. A few decent ones. I feel some of these are more suited once again to Death Knight. Others not so much, but it doesn't really matter. I think they will look cool enough. If we take this one, for instance, we can change the color. We can make it custom, and we can also change the size. Then you can also change the highlight, and then the luminosity of the highlight, which is how light it is, how much it shines out of your eye. So basically, in terms of the color choices here, this one you won't see changing if you have the luminosity set to max over there. And, you know, I would say if you want to do like something, let's just say if you want to make the character, let's just take this down here, look a little, you know, more together, then I'd say try match these up. Or if you can maybe figure something out to have like a fantastic combination like this, for instance. I'm not saying this is fantastic, but like, you know, you can do a combination. It could look quite nice, you know. But the idea once again is that when you have the luminosity maxed out, then you will see less of the main color, and you can sort of slide it around here and whatever. Once again, something you're gonna have to mess around with for yourselves. This is a free-to-play game. You can just jump in here and do it. I like the default color that they give you, these two. I think it's very suited to the class, and I think it looks awesome. That one specifically looks like it really fits. I'm not sure if that's the default one that they give you, but I really like that. So if we reset, we can check what it is. Yeah, that does seem to be the default one. Or was it? Ah, no, that's the default one. And that brings us to the end of the options. Now, at the end here, in the outro here, I'm just going to once again mention it's a fantastic system, much like I said the first time I went through Diablo Immortal's options, and there are a bunch of really cool options, but more often than not, your most important choice that you're going to make is the preset here. You will notice that the presets have slightly different looks to them. I think it's much more prevalent and much more obvious on the female character. Like if you jump in here, you can see that you sort of, not so much changing, but you're messing with the ethnicity a little bit. Pick the preset that you like, jump in, and customize it, right? So if you like this face, or if you like, let's say, this face, jump in there, fiddle with this, because it is a different look from the other one. It's not obvious right from the get-go, although I did mention it, but it's not obvious right from the get-go. Like, you might jump in, as an example, with this one and expect to make it look like this one, but you can't really do that, and yeah, might be disappointing for you. But there you go. I'm a big fan. It's awesome to see a new class in Diablo Immortal, and I think this is a well-suited class to the game. Like, this class would have been completely out of place in Diablo 4, but it's great for Diablo Immortal. And hey, dude, the fact that they get you like a free class change, you can just jump in and boom, you can play Blood Knight. I think I said Death Knight before. Whatever. You can play Blood Knight without even making a brand new character at high level. That's awesome as well. So there you go. I'd love to hear from you guys what you think about this new class, what you think about the customization options specifically, and if you have been playing Diablo Immortal, did you switch? Is this your new class? Is this your new main? I think it's awesome. I might jump in and give it a try myself, but I'd love to hear from you guys first and foremost what you think of the Blood Knight. There you go. Once again, you can download the game. I'll put a link below. You can try it out for yourself on your PC or your phone or whatever. It's available everywhere. Just do it. If it piques your curiosity, there's no reason not to. It's free, as I said. Just don't get sucked into the end game and spend too much money on it if you don't have the money. Hey, I'm just looking out for you guys, okay? There you go, I'm done. Check back here soon for more. Give this one a like and share it and do all that other stuff. If you haven't already, subscribe. I post videos like this all the time. I'm done. Happy that.